Hey everybody, how we doing?
Afternoon, guys.
Joe here.
Kevin.
All right, season 6, man. We're getting towards the end.
Yep. We are moving through the show here, actually.
I'm very curious to see where we're headed because we talked about it multiple times in season 5. Like, okay, season 6 has to be setting up the election.
Maybe. I obviously that's going to be more of a thing in season 7.
Of course, season 7 for sure.
I don't know. I expected when they did the re-election at the end of season 4
Yes.
that we'd spend more time on it than we did, and we didn't really spend as much time on it as I thought we would. We didn't do primaries. We did one debate. We only met the Brolin's character, Richie.
Yeah.
We only met him twice. So there wasn't as much as I thought.
He was the show that I thought.
Right, yeah. They went pretty late in the process before they started. Obviously, the world's changed. We live in a world now where campaigning happens 24/7. It doesn't end. It's already started. People are already talking about the midterms 2 years from now.
I know.
So we're in a time that's a little bit different than this. But still, even then they didn't spend that much focus on it. So I don't know how much in season 6 they are. I think in season 7 they will.
Sure.
But I don't know if it's obviously season 6 we're going to be starting on something completely different.
For sure. Yeah, season 6 aside, I'm willing to bet that when they do the campaign again, they're going to show us stuff they didn't show us the first time around.
Yeah, for sure. They're going to have to, right?
Yeah.
For starters, we don't have candidates from either party.
Yep.
So I think there will be debates and
I really hope so.
Conventions and who knows. I will say this: we're clearly going to be focused in on Gaza to start the season.
We had a cliffhanger in the last episode,
right? I'm going to be honest with you that the Donna going back into surgery and everything. First off, I thought she was dead, and then it's like, no, she's clearly going to be fine because it's being stretched into this season.
They really played your
I was actually really irritated with that as a misdirect. I thought it was for there've been a couple of moments on season 5 where I was like, okay, that was a little cheesy,
sure.
Or that wasn't incredibly well done.
Yeah.
Compared to previous seasons, it was still a great season.
Yeah.
That thing was the first time I was like, come on, man, to the writers. Like the first time it was like that feels.
Did we need it?
That felt very contrived. To me, and the more I thought about it later, the more I was like, that was an unnecessary. Like, let's build tension this way. Now, all of this goes out the window if Donna dies, but I think there's about a 1.5% chance.
I don't see it.
Right. Not at this point.
And somebody on Patreon said that, like, whatever she had, the clot led to pulmonary.
Right. Yeah. Pulmonary embolism or whatever it was. I don't know what it was.
That's how Josh's dad died.
Okay.
That's somebody pointed out too. So
sure.
Like, okay, I get it. Like, you're really playing into the whole Josh's guilt thing.
Sure.
But we've done that a lot.
Yeah. I
know that's part of his character. Like, I get that.
I'm just thinking in terms of narrative structure. Right?
Yeah.
You have an episode
where... It came out of left field.
Well, it was just you just did a shorter rehash of this of the same bit you did the week before.
Yeah.
This is some crap that The Walking Dead used to do. Character died. No, they didn't. Oh, now they died.
Yeah.
They did that a lot, and it was just like that. That's when I, among other fans, were like, this has gotten to where the writers are just trying to manipulate the audience rather than tell a good story. Yeah. I'm checking out. And obviously, this is the one time it's happened. I don't, and it wasn't nearly as bad or egregious as that. As an example, right, for sure. But it still was like, the episode before, it's Donna gets hurt in this explosion. I think she might die. What they're doing, while they're building up to the day, and really focusing on her. I thought it was a great episode.
Sure.
Then we let's do a mini version of that in the finale too. And it was like, you guys just did this.
It kind of begs the question: like, if you're going to do that, why not just do that for the finale?
Why not just do that for the finale? Exactly.
I'm not saying that the Gaza episode should have been the finale. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to have a device like that, like, maybe just set that up for your finale. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to do it twice. Like,
you did it. You did the exact same plot device with the same character in back-to-back episodes.
Yeah.
Stop it. That was but again, that for me in 5 seasons, I felt like that was the worst writing, the worst, like, not the actual, like, the dialogue, but in terms of, like, the writer's room saying, hey guys, what if? I felt like that was the one that really didn't work.
Yeah. And that being said, if season 5 is the clunkiest season we have, everyone has said that season 6 is great.
Yeah. And I look forward to it. And again,
too. And they probably found it funny. They probably look, switching regimes in the writer's room,
right?
It must have been like an impossible task to do, especially it picking up as soon as it did after season 4.
Right.
I don't blame them.
No, not at all.
So, like, the fact that, like, they had that season, They have their highs, they have their lows. They're probably like, okay, we know what to do now. Like we have our format.
Right.
I think they're really going to hone it this season. And everyone said this season's great, so I have full confidence.
Sure. And again, that was the only thing in season 5 that I was really like, nope.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
Yeah, sorry. That was the first time on the show where writing really felt obvious that I was watching a writer's room decision. You know what I mean? Rather than just being wrapped up in the story.
Sure.
But at any rate, also, I think the crux of the story is going to be everyone against the president. As far as everyone clearly wants him to start a war in the Middle East, especially Leo. And I don't think we're done with that coming to a head. I think Leo overstepped.
I agree with you.
In that final episode, more than once. And it was really called, and this worked. He had bad writing in that episode. We had good writing.
I think that was the strongest part of it.
I do too. Yeah. Where he went to Mary McCormick and said, "What are you doing? We don't push agendas." And then he spends the rest of the episode pushing his agenda.
That was a great example of great writing.
That was really good writing to kind of show that juxtaposition. We are way late. We should get rolling. Sorry, guys. We talked too much. Season premiere. We do want to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us. Give a shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Balish Fulldesk, Chris, Derek Peterson, Jeff, Christy Goverson, NJ, Sudugundavarapu, Torgir Linkstad, Weird Magic, and War Panda 47. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for being here.
Yes, and if you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel. If you might hit the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below and hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
Description below Patreon.
Yes.
It's Wallace's funeral. Yeah. It's Navy. Yeah. I'm glad they're starting with this.
Me too. Huge character in the show.
Yeah.
John Amos passing too. It's like, this makes us really heavy.
The chairman wants a peace summit. Isn't that a start?
Invited himself to Camp David. What's he going to do next?
Yeah.
We need to focus on military action.
See, it's still going.
Like, Jesus, Leo, I get it.
What do I need from him to get the Israelis to Camp David?
He'd have to promise to arrest the leaders of Hamas.
I wonder if they're going to do an arc on this show where they solve kind of the Middle East crisis. I hope they don't go that far. It feels like
that seems like a stretch.
Like eye in the sky, like they kind of did with fixing Social Security in one episode.
What do you need, Will?
A president who's prepared to respond to the murder of 2 congressmen.
Will's out of line here because it's not.
I know.
The president knows, right? You guys are telling him?
Knows what?
That there is no viable alternative. He's going to have to bomb Palestinians.
This is done like a thriller.
It kind of is, isn't it? We're really setting up everyone is going against the president on this.
And blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
That was good. Yes, that was really good writing there. Yeah.
I don't know if Bartlett's going to cave on this or not. I don't think he will.
I know.
That's why it's
we're not going to have an episode where it's like, fine, I'm just going to start bombing people.
And Mary McCormick got a title on the intro there.
Good.
It's cool.
So she's joined the regular cast.
Yeah.
Then.
We have no choice but to retaliate.
And the martyrs are using the Ain Hawa camp near Damascus as their base of operation.
In Syria?
The Lincoln Battle Group is moving into strike range. We can use slammer missiles against the Ain Hawa camp.
And blow the summit out of the water.
Well, what summit? The Israelis aren't going to meet with Farad.
The region's already a powder keg.
Name one day in the last 20 centuries when it wasn't.
And she just got shut down. Like, you see her put her head down.
I'm not using Admiral Fitzwallace's death and the death of our congressman as a pretext to attack another country we don't happen to like.
Yeah, that was the Iraq War.
Yeah.
I'm not bombing half the Middle East because it's going to make us all feel better.
Sir, you can't delay any longer. There are no rabbits left in this hat.
I'm not prepared to accept that.
Leo's pushing so hard.
And then, however this gets resolved going forward, I wonder how that affects the relationship.
Yeah, I think that they might have a different relationship moving forward on the show, honestly.
Israel cannot agree to attend a summit with Chairman Farad while our citizens are being brutally murdered every day.
Israel was created to be a land free from oppression. The people who live in the territories are oppressed by their own leadership, by the neglect of Arab neighbors, and yes, by Israel.
Leo's not on board with any of this.
He's so checked out.
Chairman Farad is interested in only one thing, murdering Israelis. We won't participate in any discussions which include Chairman Farad.
We're working closely with leaders of both parties on this. They know the president is determined to act.
Gallup is saying 82% support immediate military action in response to Gaza.
The president doesn't make security decisions based on opinion polls.
I got enough problems.
What's the president doing, Leo? A summit? He's already got a Nobel Prize. What's he need a second one for?
He really has every day against
it. The nation's taking the announcement of these peace talks badly. Members of Congress were killed, Mr. President. Instead of seeking justice, you're typing up name tags and then inviting them to play dodgeball at Camp David. You have to go on national television, admit your mistake, and retract those invitations.
That is not going to happen. I can guarantee that's not going to happen.
That's bold to talk about that way, too.
I'm trying to find a way to make peace. And when I do, you can go on TV and explain why you're against it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now get out of here.
Isn't it? Am I wrong, or if Rod wasn't really invited, he kind of invited himself?
He did. That's how the last episode ended.
They could have shut that down.
Yeah.
Yes, she could see you for a moment before we put her under.
Me?
No, Mr. Lyman.
Like
each other.
No, hey, a couple of preening turkeys here.
I know. I love Donna.
He loves me more. Oh my god.
You'll be fine, okay?
You'll talk to him? Yeah. We lose track of Nassan now. Who knows when we pick him up again?
Thank God we're going to have a Fox News host running the Department of Defense soon.
Don't even get me started, dude. I can't believe it.
He doesn't like chaos. We bomb some apartment building in Gaza or a camp in Syria. There'll be consequences.
Exactly. It's just back and forth.
Will we get drawn into a war in the Middle East?
No ideas too stupid or outrageous. I need ideas, new ideas. Come on.
I'd be scared to speak in that situation.
Right?
Yeah,
Sir, I think we need to shift the conversation back to the military.
Come on, who else?
yeah. He's talking for other solutions that aren't bombing.
Yep.
She hasn't spoken. Does she have an idea? Yeah.
Really stupid ideas?
Yes, absolutely.
Bet she's got something good.
We ignore everything that's happened in the last 24 hours. Tell him if he wants a summit, he has to arrest Nassan.
Israelis turned off his power or his cell phone's dead.
Get him a new one.
Tell him he has to turn Nassan over to us.
He won't do it.
How do you know?
He won't.
We look reasonable, measured. Farad has no one to blame but himself.
And if he does turn over Nassan, we go to the Israelis and say, hey, look, he's serious this time.
It's not a bad idea.
No.
Yeah, how was that a stupid idea?
when the two outcomes both work out for you a little bit.
Leo, you're okay.
Coordinate with state.
Yeah, we'll talk to you right now.
Yeah.
Dave's mad at you, big time.
The Lincoln Battle Group will be in position sometime tonight. They're awaiting your go order to strike Nassan and the Syrian camps in the morning. Congress, the Joint Chiefs, the American public, your own staff, everyone disagrees with your assessment of the situation.
They're deliberately provoking us, Leo. They want us to overreact.
This isn't overreacting. It's the appropriate balance.
Tell me how this ends, Leo. But you don't know how it ends.
We don't always know how it ends.
Wow.
The Lincoln will be in position in a few hours, and then you are going to have to give the go-ahead for the bombings.
Yeah. He took that as a threat.
He did. I like that he's putting his foot down. Man.
Yeah.
I love the part that's like steadfast in this.
And the crazy thing about this is what makes this really work is Leo's technically not wrong about any of it.
Sure.
You know?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
I could do what they want, make everyone feel better for a few days. Be a hell of a lot easier.
You want easier?
You ever look around and think, if we're the ones in charge, this country's in a hell of a lot of trouble?
Till I spend time with the other guys.
If your security forces were to capture Nassan, we want him turned over to us. Trying Nassan in an American court shows there are other means of seeking justice than Israeli missile strikes. Even if you were to detain Nassan, we would ask that you extradite him.
Yeah. That's the deal.
Yep.
If your security forces were to detain Nassan and then turn him over to us secretly, we'd be happy to say that he was apprehended by the FBI.
Yeah, that's a good compromise.
Yeah, I don't think he hates it.
I will discuss it with members of my government.
I mean, right now you're in a building with no power surrounded by tanks.
Yeah, dude.
The Lincoln Battle Group is almost...
Wait, Leo.
Everybody take 5. Just give it away.
Give him a day. Then we can decide what to do after that. Then you can say, like, you refused to do it.
Yeah.
We work together.
Past stallions gone bad.
Or tragically, unconsummated love.
He's not far off.
No. That second one was absolutely 100%
Yeah. Yeah.
How's she doing?
No.
We had to transfuse and call in a vascular surgeon to repair the tear.
Is she going to be all right?
She's still unconscious. Decreased oxygen delivery can result in brain damage.
General Alexander is waiting in the sit room. The Lincoln Carrier Group is in place.
The number of times you say that doesn't change anything.
They have Khalil Nassan in custody, and they'd like to turn him over to us.
There it is. Major win for the president.
Let Bartlett be. Bartlett, everybody.
They want peace, but I have to blow something up first.
I think they're willing to haggle on the peace part.
That usually worked in the past. Ms. Harper, head on in and look unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah, push back a little.
Head down to the sit room and tell the generals to keep their pistols in their pockets for the time being. I can't have them picking up any signals from you that we disagree.
Oh, he's being kicked out of the room.
Yeah, there was a little shock there, isn't
Yeah.
there?
You're not welcome in this meeting. He's like, oh, crap.
The Palestinian Authority has detained Khalil Nassan and is prepared to turn him over to our FBI, an example of his renewed willingness to address the peace process.
Farad is beholden to the very forces that wish to push us back into the sea.
Sir, you cannot hold yourself out as the promised land while occupying the territories and oppressing other peoples.
Welcome to 2024.
The United States is willing to publicly support Israeli actions to secure your homeland.
We're wheeling and dealing now.
Yeah.
Ellie, why not sit down and talk again? I think we got ourselves a ball game.
Great shot.
Have you ever met that SF Fairmont before? I want you to stay here, hold down the fort. I'll call you when things heat up. You still think this is a mistake?
Yes, sir, I do. Sir?
Tell the general to hit the Ein Hawa camp near Damascus.
Okay, so they are going to still attack. So I take it, we're at Camp David. I will.
Palestinians are wheels up.
Wow. Oh, they had a budget for this career,
just
didn't they?
thinking they got a budget, yeah.
We're going to have an announcement in a couple of hours.
What announcement?
I'll find you when it's time.
An attack? Yeah.
They're on the way.
Oh, I like that they're showing the setup here. This is really cool.
Oh, this is so cool.
If we can't agree, how do we expect them to?
These Israelis just cleared our airspace.
We call this production value.
Mr. Prime Minister Goldman, thank you
Mr.
for
President, special forces are in place to paint the target. Please
Yeah,
turn
he
the
did,
back.
actually.
How long till they reach the targets?
They're at Mach 1.7. They'll be dropping ordnance in 90 minutes.
So Bartlett's probably going to tell them, like, by the way, when pet to the Palestinians, by the way, we bombed one of the training camps.
Yeah. Don't get mad.
Chairman Farad, welcome.
Mr. President.
You don't mind my saying so, sir? I hope the president knows how lucky he is to have you.
We're flirting right now.
Yeah, we're not getting along.
Josh?
Oh.
Hey.
Oh.
You're awake. You're still here. Yeah.
Maybe this is when they get together after she's better.
I'm willing to bet on it.
Yes.
That's all it took.
Right. By the way, when you almost died, I realized how much I love you.
All right.
Oh, wow.
All right.
So this is going to be a storyline that goes on for a while,
Yeah.
which I think is appropriate. I'm really glad that, again, kind of looking back at the episode where Toby saved Social Security, it was a one-off episode and again, that was a pretty pie in the sky, right? It was like, okay, that was a
wishful thinking.
pretty high on the optimism scale for the West Wing.
I mean, peace in the Middle East to be like the ultimate.
Yeah, I'm really glad that this wasn't like we'll have a rousing speech in a 10-minute conversation, and the Middle East conflict has been resolved.
Yeah,
and honestly, in the real world, there's no way they should end the show at all with any type of thing. As far as like, okay, everyone's calm, we're in a ceasefire, tensions are. I think that's completely realistic. I think going as far as like we did peace in the Middle East, that's probably yeah, exactly, and everybody clapped.
Yeah.
That's probably a thing that I hope the show doesn't go all the way to, because that's a. I can't read it yet. I can't tell because they've gotten all these people together. It's like, well, I thought we were going to work for a ceasefire and to turn and to get the people responsible and all that. Now it's more like, oh, we're doing a whole peace summit. Like, are we going all the way to peace in the Middle East?
Here's the thing with the show is that like we have super dark endings, but we also have like this. I don't want to say absurd, but we have like this very optimistic, view of the world as well.
And I like that. One of the things I like about the show is it is an idealized view of what we should be able to do with politics. Yeah. So I don't really have a complaint about that.
No. It's fiction. I mean, like, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset at them if they went all the way to that route. If they took their time and it was earned and written well and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's got,
yeah.
Again, it's just in this idealized world, the way you hope the world would work. I think it's fine.
Sure. And I was wondering if we were headed towards like at the very end, like a Godfather moment where it's like the meeting of the 5 families. You know what I mean? Where
sure.
It's like kind of leading the table. We didn't get to see it, and we're probably not going to see the conversation they have at Camp David. I don't think we will.
Oh, I think that's going to be the next episode.
I think the very next episode we open up with that.
There is. If you're going to do this as an arc, right? If you're going to do the president gets everybody together to negotiate Middle East peace as an arc, you absolutely have to be showing how the sausage is made on that.
Okay.
This would be, I think, really infuriating to the point of like rip my hair out. If we got back to the next episode, right? If you get back to the episode, it was like, boy, we did it,
or we didn't do it,
or we either way. Yeah. You're right. I think you have to show this process if you're going to do this.
I guess you're right because it did end with them all in the room. The meeting was about to start.
They were just about to start the meeting. I would be really disappointed, and we don't know what happens, of course. Yeah. I would be really disappointed if we kind of skip ahead. If that's where the problem is. It works if everything is earned, if they take their time, if they develop the stories right and the narratives right. I'll go,
sell me on it.
Exactly. I'll go along on some pretty lofty thinking here and some pretty high expectations. Just do it right in terms of the writing execution. Yeah, I mean, really.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Yeah, like seriously, because we could buy a lot of things this show throws our way, right? If they would have, I mean, the Toby Health Social Security thing was one episode. If it would have been stretched out into several, maybe we can be like, all right.
I do think that's a thing that they should have taken a couple of episodes to do. I think the Supremes one, obviously, you're restrained by budget, but getting having the court work like that was like that is a thing that would just never happen. It'd be great if it could, and that's why I think the show's great. Is like. By the way, here obviously our politics in our world is just a messy, chaotic pile of garbage.
Yeah.
It's a cesspool.
Yeah.
Any negative thing you want to say about our political world, it's fair to say it.
For sure.
And this show was a nice alternative to that. Like, here's what we should be doing. Here's what our politicians and our leadership should be aspiring to do, not just in the U.S. but around the world.
Yeah.
So I don't mind them doing this.
And that's why an episode like the Supremes is one of the better episodes,
right?
Because it's nice.
It's like, yeah. How many people said, including us every time while we were watching it, man, wouldn't it be nice if this is the way it actually worked?
Yeah.
Not because it's crazy, but because it should. We should be able to sit down and say, hey, how do we stop killing each other?
And that's why
we should be right.
Almost like perfect escapism. It really is. I mean, like, I love that it deals with issues that are true to life, but at the same time, it has resolutions that you're like, yes.
Yeah, well, and yes. Also, I think for me personally, and I don't know how other people feel, but for me, it's like, it's not just that, like, look how, look at all this lofty stuff, but I think it's for the audience to say, why aren't we aspiring to this?
Yeah.
Why are we accepting the fact that, XYZ happens? Why can't we get health care for people in the United States? It's the highest GDP country in the world, and we can't figure out health insurance for people or health care for people. Yeah. Forget insurance. Health care for people.
Yeah.
Why can't we stop school shootings just a little bit?
Yeah.
We are the only country that can't figure it out. So I'm glad that we have a show that's this often, and you're right, it's dark a lot of the time, but also so idealized at some points. It's like, this is what we really should be aspiring to with our government. Yeah. This is what we should be insisting our leaders can do. Stop talking, stop grandstanding, stay off the Sunday news shows, and actually fix some of these problems.
Get together and think.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that a TV show is as
right. It's great. I love it, and I look forward to the rest of the season.
Me too.
Appreciate it, guys.
See you.